Can you hear me now? Okay, there we go. Well, I'm gonna talk about just. Can you hear me now, Terry? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now. No thumbs up. Okay, there we go. So anyway, just a couple of things that's happened to me. I'm just gonna be candid about it. I went to school after I got out the military. I wanted this job. It changed my life. After I got out of school, I applied for this. While I was in school, I applied. I was getting ready to graduate, and I applied for this job at this company. And I applied. This was back in the day when you sent in your resume and you did your application. You wasn't no send it over. You took it over. You put it down, and you filled out the application. You put it down, and you left it there at the office. And I wanted this job, and I wanted the job really, really bad. It was involving computers and accounting, and it was all the things that I was interested in. And finally, the gentleman gave me a call. He said, "Vernon, I want you to come in for an interview." I'm like, "Okay, great." I was excited. So I, put my clothes on, got myself all spiffied up and everything. And I went to the interview, and the gentleman told me, he said, "Hey, never forget him. His name was Mr. Patterson, old bald white man." He said, "Vernon, I just wanted to meet you and tell you face to face. I'm not going to give you the job. I've already given the job to a white woman, who probably wouldn't get too many more opportunities, but I thought I'd give her the job because I thought she could use it. I'm not giving you the job because a number of things." Wow. He said, "But I'm gonna give you another piece of advice." He said, I know some of the people that you know here in Topeka, Kansas, and I'm gonna share this with you, and you do with it what you will." He says, "I advise you to leave Topeka because, quite frankly, you'll never get the kind of job that you deserve because, one, you're black, you're educated, you're intelligent, you're articulate, you are a threat, and not many people will bode well with that. So I just wanted to tell you to your face why I'm not giving you this job." Of course, I was upset. I was angry. I was ready to do unspeakable harms, to be polite. But what did I do? I thanked him for that information because that's something that nobody else would probably ever tell me. And I left his office. Shortly thereafter, a couple of weeks or so, I was being a good Samaritan, and I was coming down Highway 70, and right there for you truckers, coming down Highway 70 right there at California Avenue in Topeka, Kansas. It was down to one lane. They were doing some construction, and a branch fell off a truck, and it was blocking the lane, and people were swerving, almost hitting the wall, trying to avoid this branch. Well, I was dressed to the nines, wearing my Brooks Brothers suit because they gave me a credit card, so I was Brooks Brothers down because I was involved in. I actually was involved in politics in Kansas before I moved to St. Louis. I parked my car on the exit and walked back down the highway and pulled the branch off the road, and I was about, honestly, 15 feet from the highway, so anybody that was passing me could pass me without harm. When my back was turned, I got hit by a truck. I got hit by a Ford F450 flatbed at about 42 miles an hour, and they figured 42 miles an hour by how far my body flew. Yeah. He hit me and he kept going. Left me for dead. Broke my pelvis in 8 places, all the ribs in my back, contusion to my bladder. I was in a coma for 3 days. Well, as life would turn, I finally met the gentleman who hit me, and we were in court. And it was an accident. It was an accident. I didn't see you. I didn't see you. And then I asked the judge not to send him to jail. It was an accident. And of course, my wife was very upset because I told him not to send him to jail because it was an accident. And he had his 4 kids, his 4 small children there in court with him with his wife. And it was close to Christmas time, and I felt sorry for the man. So I asked the judge not to send him to jail. He didn't. He assigned restitution. I got a couple of small checks from him, and then all of a sudden I wonder what happened. They quit, and I read in the newspaper. Well, I take that back. Before I read it in the newspaper, I got a job I was doing the temp job, and I looked up, and lo and behold, here comes this gentleman that hit me in the truck walking through the door, and he's dressed as he was dressed. And I asked him, I said, Bradley, honestly, why did you hit me? And he says, honestly, you just another nigga. And it was an opportunity. And he told me this to my face. But karma is a son of a gun. About 6 months later, I read in the newspaper that he went to jail. He went to jail anyway, even though I asked the judge not to send him to jail. He ended up going to jail for molesting his own child. So I did not have to get my revenge. God did that for me. But yeah, he hit me because, as he called me, you was just another nigga. So not too long ago, I was on a work site. Somebody decided to hang a noose in my honor. I've had bookers not book me. I had one booker tell me, I'm not going to book you because you're black. And all you black comics do is talk about your baby mamas and your bad credit and how big your dick is. I don't have those issues. So in the military, yeah, I had my issues there. I've had my issues with jobs. I remember when I had one job, after I got out the military, I trained 3 managers to be promoted above me to be managers. And I remember I asked him one time, well, why did I get the job? And the gentleman said, because you're unsafe. You're good at what you do, but you're unsafe. You won't cut your hair, because I was wearing long hair. After I got out the military, I didn't cut my hair for 3 years. And you came to work one day with snakeskin boots on. Really? Being black is serious. It's not a condition. It's beautiful. I love my dark skin. And when I'm out in the sun and it gets even darker, I love it even more. But being black in America, you got to have thick skin. You got to be willing to roll with it. You got to be willing to. Some things, as I say, sometimes you got to roll with the punches. I tell the story about opening for David Allen Cole. Black folks don't know who they are. White folks, y'all know who he is. But anyway, at the show, yes, I got called nigga 30 times that night. Real talk. 30 times. And people go, man, ain't no way in the hell. I mean, I told some of my boys about it. Man, ain't no way in the hell I let somebody do that. I'll be fighting everybody. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like that country music song. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. I couldn't fight all those people. And what's the point of me getting mad and start blasting away? Then I'm in jail because somebody called me out of my name. Unfortunately, people still think this way today. Yes, ma'am. Renee, black and proud. Very. But I'm a man and proud. I'm an American and I'm proud. I'm a father, husband, grandfather and proud. It's more to me than my skin. It's more to us than our skin. And when y'all don't think that we are going through some things, man, we going through some things. We are. I want to say hi, Bob. We are going through some things as a people. Y'all don't see the police brutality. Y'all don't see. I remember one time my son got pulled over driving my BMW, and the cop said, "Wow, your dad, how'd your dad get such a nice car? He must be a drug dealer." My son said, "No, he's an insurance agent." But when we're seen wearing nice clothes, people just automatically assume. So I remember one night I was out driving Uber, And I picked up this group from, I'll never forget it, Garden City, Missouri. I did not even know there was a Garden City, Missouri. They were here for a country western show, and I picked them up in my GL 450. And everybody got in. Oh, nice car, nice car, nice car. It was 6 of them. And then the last guy, Steve, who booked the car, who booked it, he gets in, he looks at it, he goes, I guess the drug game must be slow if you out here doing Uber. I said, well, if your mama would pay up, I wouldn't have to drive, would I? But he has automatically assumed that since I was in such a nice car, I was a drug dealer. He was serious. So I just thought I'd do the B Side chat. There was more things I wanted to talk about in the show, but I wanted to try to keep it more on the show. But Black history is not just about February. It's every month. It's every day. Because there are things that we as Black people have done that, believe it or not, are part of your lives every day. The refrigerator, open heart surgery, helicopters. There's a whole list of things out there. Ladies that press your hair, a Black woman invented the pressing comb. And I can go on and on. But being Black is real. Being Black in America is even more real. I'll say this. When we as Black people hear MAGA, Make America Great Again, unfortunately, what we hear is let's go back to 1940s and the 50s. When we hear Donald Trump, number 45, say things like, get him out of here, because you remember what we used to do to those kind? Yeah, that makes us tense up inside, because we do. I can't have a German Shepherd to this day because it was a dog that was used on Black people to control us. Being Black is real. This one dude just popped in. What's up, man? Glad to see you. He took me on my very first comedy tour, and unfortunately during that comedy tour, there was a little altercation. I set my Black ass down on the curb and said, no, I'm not getting involved. And I suggest y'all don't go no further than this, because what's going to happen is the police are going to pull up and they're going to see me standing in the middle of y'all, and they're going to immediately grab me because they're going to assume that I am the instigator of this. But I love him like a brother. That bonded us because he stood with me. I take that back. I stood with him. And that bonded us from here on out, But my point to y'all is, being Black, a lot of people are realizing blackness in their families because there are more and more multiracial children being born. And I know it sounds really, really mean, but quite frankly, I would love to be there when a racist opens up his, a white nationalist opens up the envelope after they got their DNA test back, 23andMe, and that first line says 20% African American. I'm sorry. I know that's just sick, but more of us have African American blood. Have Black blood in us than we want to admit to. We got these Black grandbabies, we got these multiracial grandchildren in our lives, and now we're having to reevaluate who we are and what we think of people. You can't hate Black people and hate that baby. Can you? But honestly, it's so hard to look into the face of a child and go, I hate you because you are multiracial. Guess what? That's just reality. Deal with it. Deal with it. Like I said, this is the B-Side chat. I took down all the little fancy stuff. It's just me. Yeah, you can see my stuff in the corner, the whole nine. Now I'm smoking my cigarettes. Because, you know, this is what I do. I'm trying to quit. I'm going to get there eventually. And no, I don't smoke Cools or Newports, as they assume all of us brothers do, you know. Uh, yeah. How about we if we take a minute and step back and focus on just being good people? Yeah, just focus on being good people. Won't we try being more like a bullet? Not in a bad way. Bullets don't have eyes. They don't see where they're going. They just handle their purpose. Why can't we just be straight with each other? There's no separation because, quite frankly, we are in this together. We have raised the country together. We've gone to school together. We've served in the military together. We've held jobs together. We have stood in foxholes together and bled blood that commingled in the bottom of that foxhole. We elected a black president. All right, that was the 8th black president. What's up, Joshua? I see you, young man. Hey, son, I see you, Triz. Renee, I see you too. Juju, I see you. That was our 8th black president. The other ones just didn't have the skin color. You never really know who you talking to. You don't. I remember one time I was in Spirit Lake, Iowa, doing a show. And this gentleman came in. It was cold outside, too. He was dirty. It looked like he'd been working out in the fields. And he comes into the bar. He's wearing a wife beater. And it's like 20 degrees outside. This wife beater looked like he's had it on for 3 days. And, hey, daughter, I see you, baby. He looked like he'd been wearing that wife beater for 3 days. And he sat down beside me, and I was there waiting for the show to start. And he had a swastika on his chest. And I looked over, he started the conversation. So hey, you talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you. And I said, hey man, tell me about what's up. I said, I see that swastika on your chest. Is that real? He goes, oh yeah. I went to jail and I did some things that I wasn't proud of. Yeah, I was part of the Aryan Nation and the skinheads. And as a matter of fact, I was a captain. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, hey man, you own yours, I own. Hey man, okay, cool. And he bought me a beer. And he watched the show. And I come off the show. He go, man, you funny as hell for a colored fella. Why don't you come on out to my truck? Let's have another one. I am not going nowhere near your Chevy. You may have chains. But I say it in jest, but it's real. I'm not preaching. I'm trying to teach. Because I know that there is some, and I shouldn't call y'all this, but I refuse to call you white people. I call you pink toes. Yeah, because no matter how much you tan, your toes are going to be pink. I love y'all. I love my men and women of color. I love everybody. And I try to treat everybody equally. Quite frankly, I just try to treat you the way you treat me. If you're good to me, guess what? I'm just as good to you. And I think that's how we should be. If we can get past this, what color are you? If we can get past this, where are you from? I think we should only ask each other where we're from just as a point of reference. Oh yeah, I've been there. Yeah, great place. Oh God, there's no terrible place. Oh yeah, I had the best food in my life there. Except for trying to judge who we are talking to because of where they're from. How about that? So, being black in America is not easy, people. We still do not have the right to vote. We had the Voting Rights Act passed, but it is not a law. Black people cannot, we can vote, but it's an act and they will not make it a permanent thing. I have been to towns in America that still have signs up They say, they're called sundown towns. That means, if you are black, you have to be out of this town before nightfall. Matter of fact, there's a little place called Anna, Illinois. Matter of fact, it's on Wikipedia, but it's called Anna, Illinois, ANNA, Illinois. And Anna stands for Ain't No Negroes Allowed After Dark. True story. And I did not believe this until I looked it up. And the town now is about, I think they told me it's been becoming more integrated. But it's a real place. Matter of fact, I just put it on cancel. I just put it on in the link there. So if you get a chance to check it out later. But they still have towns like that. New Harmony, Illinois has a sign on it that says, "Welcome to thanks for visiting. Thanks for visiting Indiana. Come again." And then there's another sign at the bottom on this old bridge that they don't use anymore. It's all covered over, but it says, if you're black, you better have your ass on the other side of this bridge before dark. Welcome to America. And these are the places that I go. Why? Because I have a mission. My mission is very simple. This is to teach people that laughter has no color. Yeah. When you laugh, no color comes out your mouth unless you got really funky breath. So my thing is, if we can laugh together, we should be able to live together. So that's it for the B side. God bless y'all. I love you. I'm Longhorn. $2. Shut off.